The Brix meter. The Brix meter is a very underutilised and brilliant tool for monitoring crops and crop health and quality. Okay, Brix is a measure of all of the dissolved solids and amino acids and proteins and everything in terms of percentage in 100 pound of juice. And you can think about it in brief this way: low numbers, low nutrition, high insect and disease attack; high numbers, high nutrition, lower disease and insect attack. And provided you can get your soil balanced out well enough, both minerally and biologically, and you got good Brix numbers with it, then you should have almost no disease or insect attack. That can be a challenge to achieve, but it can and has been done. And one of the simplest ways for many plants to get the sap to the Brix meter, by the way, needs just 2 or 3 drops of sap along the prism there. And one of the simplest ways to do it, we make a stainless steel garlic press that don't break, and that's it there. And we simply get some plant sample, we put it in there, we squeeze fairly firmly and drip the juice on the prism and draw a line of sap down the prism, and then we close our flap. We focus the unit to suit our eye reading. There is a scale in there. It is all blue, the background is all blue, but once we put some sap on there, it will be white or maybe a green, or in the case of like mung beans, for instance, sometimes it comes out a reddish colour. But where the 2 colours meet on the scale, that is your reading. Brix. And Brix is also very useful for monitoring whether a plant wants, with a foliar spray, for monitoring whether that's what the crop wants or not. Because there's no value, from my perspective, in putting on a spray if it's not what the crop wants. And I have personally seen it where some bruise on a crop out of 6, by the way, we want a minimum 2-point rise in the Brix to use a foliar spray. If we can't get that 2 points, it doesn't mean it's no good, but basically it's the plant saying this ain't what I want. But I've also seen it where a foliar spray sent a crop backwards by 1 point. We went down, and yet we took it out of that crop, you would say it's no good, and put it into a different crop altogether on the same property, and we got a 1-point rise. So, you know, the first crop is saying, this ain't what I want. If you give me any of this, you're going to make me sick. And that the second crop was saying, this ain't what I want, but it's okay. It's not going to make me sick. And that's something that's where foliar spray is an area where the Brix meter is greatly underused. And I experienced this at my own farm years ago, where we got a 1.5-point rise in 20 minutes. And we went and did it. That was on mung beans and soya beans, but we went and put it on the sunflowers, and they wouldn't move. Therefore, what I saved was time, and I saved the cost of the materials that would have been put on. All of that just covers the cost of the Brix meter, no trouble at all. And what we do is we mist our crop over at the rate we want to spray it at with some squirt bottles and then we come back in about 3/4 of an hour to an hour. Some people use a little bit less, but I like that, and as I said earlier, we want a minimum 2-point rise. I guess there's stuff that one could go on from there, but that's the basis of it. Tree crops though, you need to wait 18 to 24 hours, and you need to put a marker on the tree and note where you spray it, do a test on it, and come back, say, next day. The other thing is, to monitor Brix overall in a crop, you need to be consistent in the time of day you take it. And say we're going to do it at 10 o'clock in the morning, then later on in a week's time, as practical farmers, we can't always be there then, but what we do is we'll be there at 9:45 or 10, but we still want to be in that 10 o'clock time frame. And if your plants aren't highest in the afternoon and lowest in the first thing in the morning, then that plant is not cycling. You got something wrong. You got a nutrient problem there somewhere. And yeah, so I guess in brief, without going too deep into it, that's Brix, and that's the basis of it.